No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Ow. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Wednesday to you here at BroncoNationNews.com, the social media channels of Bronco Nation News. Hopefully you're subscribed to our YouTube, Facebook, X channels, and of course, twice a week, we're partnering with KTIK. So today you see John Mallory, and hopefully you're also watching, subscribing to the KTIK YouTube and social media channels for their daily video segment and other things they have going on there as well. Johnny, it's another sunny day. It still could be a little warmer, but it's not terrible. Another nice day outside, and ready to talk some Boise State sports with you. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I love these sunny days, man. Driving out of my neighborhood, getting on I-84 eastbound, heading in, doing the commute, and makes it a lot easier when it's sunny like this. And hopefully there's a lot of this to come, and hopefully some big Boise State news to come as well on this edition of BNN Live, BJ. BJ's got a secret.
Yeah. So here's how this works, Johnny. You've been in this business before, and I will first of all just this is bad hosting on my part, Johnny, but I will say right off the bat, I cannot tell you the name of the player on the show right now that Boise State got, but I will say Boise State has got a commitment from a player. And as you know, Johnny, sometimes in this business, you have sources, you have folks you talk to, and they'll tell you something, but they only tell you, if you to make me let you get the story ready, whatever, but you can't, the only reason they told you, they ask you not to report it till a certain time, whatever. So I did hear and have confirmed that Boise State has a commitment for the basketball team. The player was supposed to have announced it last night. the graphic that they're having made for him to put in his tweet wasn't ready. So I would assume today, today is probably going to be the day. This was not something where I was trying to, I've got some big secret I'm not going to tell you guys. Ha ha ha. I thought it would be out by now, so I do sincerely apologize to that. I'm trying to say as much as I can without giving it away. But Johnny, these are college kids. They want to make the announcement themselves. I think that's fair to not steal their thunder and let them make a big announcement in terms of their future. It is a transfer. It is not Zach Edey. And it is not LeBron James' kid, Bronny James. You'd be surprised, Johnny, how many people actually think it is Bronny James based off the comments that I made. I had 3 text messages. Please tell me it's not Bronny James. It's not Bronny James, okay?
They wouldn't want him. Oh, no. I mean, that's funny.
They're making the Andrew Meadow connection from the AAU team. I mean, the Nike, I get it, but it is not Zach Edey. It is not the center from Illinois State that's going to SLU with his coach. So I just want to throw that out there. I apologize. I thought it would be out by now. I'm not trying to drag this out and act like I know news, but I'm not going to say. Maybe I should have said nothing. I thought it was going to be shortly after I tweeted that they had got a commitment that it would be out there, but just want to throw that out there. It should be today. I personally feel like, Johnny, Bronco Nation is going to be very excited about this. When you look at this, when you look at this team and what they needed, we've hinted about it. We've talked about it. I think he's going to be a perfect fit, and I think it's going to be a surprise to some people.
How do you think Bronco Nation is going to react to it?
I think it'll be. I mean, again, I'm not trying to hype
the polls to the fan base on the BNN crowd and all that. Like,
I think it's going to be a surprise to some.
Big man. I think it's going to be a pretty big story. To be honest,
I mean, you're seeing some top 25 lists where Boise State's already in there, and I think that this will be a pretty big deal and an upgrade. And again, we'll talk more about this. We'll spend a whole show talking about this once it comes out, maybe tomorrow. I think some people that don't necessarily know the game or know the national landscape may not, who's that guy, or may not think it's a big deal. But personally, as someone that has studied the Mountain West, studied Boise State basketball, studied college basketball across the country, I think that it's going to be very positive, good news for Boise State when this comes out. So again, we'll move on to football. I just wanted to say I was not trying to play some game. I do apologize for that. It should be out hopefully today, if not today, tomorrow for sure when the graphic gets made. But keep refreshing Twitter, social media. Boise State has added a commitment that I think is a significant addition to the roster. And now if you just add one more, another key player, I think this team, Johnny, does get to the level where this is going to be really, really exciting for fans and media and everybody going into next season. And so we'll see what happens. But keep it tuned to social media. If I can get it, allowed to confirm more. The player that committed, Johnny, at least did, ask me specifically. I talked to him last night, asked that he be the first one to release it, but he did say he'd give BNN the first interview. So by agreeing to hold off and not spill the beans, BNN should get the first interview. So hopefully you fans understand that, and we're doing what we can to keep everybody happy and just be watching social media. Good news coming today for Boise State basketball. All right, Johnny, football is in full swing. We were out there at practice yesterday, another nice 2-hour practice, a lot of team drills. Two position battles I want to talk about today. One on the offensive side, one on the defensive side. I want to get your take on this. Obviously, the quarterback situation, I think, continues to heat up. I thought Malachi Nelson had a really, really strong day yesterday and continues to play better. And then on the defensive side, Ty Benfield, I talked to him last week. I've been saving that interview for the summer when there's nothing going on and we're doing our countdown. You guys had him on yesterday, a really nice interview as well. But that safety battle on the defensive side of the ball, I think it's going to get very interesting, in spring and summer and going into fall camp as well. So quarterback battle and safety battle are the two things I wanted to mostly talk about on today's show. But for you, Johnny, again, a lot of team drills yesterday, a lot of intensity, a lot of trash talking, a great deep ball. We saw a couple nice highlight plays. Ashton Jeanty continues to do crazy things in practice. Before we get into those two specific battles, just wanted to give you a chance for your general thoughts after practice 10 yesterday.
Well, I mean, and this is sounding like a broken record, and I feel like we're probably I don't want to say we're hyperbolic or we're hyping Matt Lauter's spring performance any more than we need to, but it feels like we're almost talking about him so much now, BJ. We're overrating him, like there's going to be massive expectations. Well, he didn't win the Mackey. What's going on? You said he had this amazing spring, but I mean, if you go to practice and you just watch the scrimmages and watch them play 1s-on-1s and 2s-on-2s, it's been a challenge for the defense to stop Matt Lauter. I saw the best play I've seen all spring yesterday. It was Malachi to Lauter, and it was good coverage on the defense. The defender was there, but Malachi just put the ball in a spot where the defender could not reach it, and it was just perfectly in Lauter's hands, like immediately. And then it was a sideline pass, and Lauter caught it and got his foot in and went out of bounds probably 40 yards down the field. I mean, it was a hell of a play. And I looked right over at Prater. My eyes got big. My jaw dropped. And that was the first moment for me that was like, okay, yeah, dude, that's a 5-star throw. Okay. And like you said, Malachi's getting better every single day. And I think that's just because he's getting more comfortable and he's becoming more confident. And then he's just letting his skills do the rest. It doesn't feel like any quarterback doesn't know what they're doing out there. So whatever the offensive staff is doing to, teach this offense and translate it to the players, I don't feel like there's one player out there at the quarterback position that doesn't know what they're doing, right? And that includes really the big three: CJ Tiller, Malachi Nelson, Mad Dog. You can't really decipher, at least I can't, who's had a better camp. I think Mad Dog got off to the best start. Tiller's been there the whole way as well. Tiller had a really nice touchdown pass. I think it was to Lauter in the far end zone yesterday. So he's playing well too. That's an observation I have there. And then defensively, the log jam there at safety. Those guys are playing their tail off. Nobody wants to not start. They all want to play a lot. So that's hyped up. And I'm trying to think what else the Jeanty stuff, BJ. That dude's so good, man. I could just stay there all day on the sidelines and watch Jeanty practice. I'll let you describe it. I described it yesterday on IST. The screen pass to Jeanty where he caught it on they're moving right to left, and Jeanty catches it on the far right. And then what happened after that? You were right next to me.
Well, he ended up jogging easily into the end zone on the far left side of the field. At the end of the play, I told you he kind of reminds me of Marshall Faulk with his vision. Watching Marshall Faulk on the Rams back in the day, growing up, a lot of times he would just kind of, some guys just get it and burst through the hole right away. He's the kind of guy, especially when he gets in space, where he kind of slows and almost looks like he's going in slow motion, waiting for blockers, waiting for guys, waiting for holes to open, and then when he needs to turn it on, boom, he's gone. And I would say several runs this spring, Johnny. And I don't know if this is just we're seeing more team stuff in practice, and that's why we're right there on the sidelines 10 feet from this. And maybe that's why we're seeing this differently than when we're in the press box or watching on TV. But down there on the sideline, watching these team drills, you just get such a different feel for how the way Ashton Jeanty runs. And again, they're not tackling him. They're not. He's not going all the way to the ground, but it's still pretty physical. And that run is a screen pass to the right. He jukes one guy and then makes a big cutback to the left. And again, by the time he got all the way to the end zone, he had blown by about 5 guys and then essentially kind of just turned the corner and kind of just slowly jogged into the end zone because nobody was around him. If they can keep him healthy, man, every day I get more excited about what Ashton Jeanty can do. But I mean, you had Breezy Dubar's done some things, and I thought Gaines, man, and Gaines.
Spider Gaines. That's funny I said that. Sire Gaines, he is built, dude, and he looks good as well. And I saw Jeanty's going out of his way to help and work and educate and coach.
Dude, when Gaines had one of those big runs, he was like, Jeanty was the first one like dancing and at midfield celebrating and taunting the defense for how impressive it was.
Ashton Jeanty loves his teammates. Ashton Jeanty isn't about Ashton Jeanty. And some dudes are, some dudes aren't. And that's a really fantastic quality when the best player in your program is one of the nice guys, and wants to see other guys get better. I see Jeanty, I saw Jeanty, he wasn't playing because he doesn't play a lot. And on one of the Lauter plays, I looked over to see Jeanty's reaction, and Jeanty was ecstatic. Like you could tell Jeanty's like, all right, I'm not the only total badass dog out here right now. I got some other guys. And like you were saying, the anticipation, and I'm thinking about this, talking to Prater about this. I'm like, okay, so you have Dirk Cutter running this offense with everything that he brings to the table. an experienced offensive line. I think the quarterback position is going to work out itself. The best running back you've had here in a long time. We all know the Jeanty thing. A tight end that looks like he's going to another level, and the receivers are just a group of massive thoroughbred speed athletes. I mean, I'm thinking, like, how good can this offense be? I don't see a weakness here. Now, we'll see what happens at spring ball, but man, it feels like they got a lot to work with there. And I don't know what's going to ultimately hurt them this year. It feels like they got a lot, and it feels like Dirk Cutter with their offense, with the plays they're running. I mean, he is scheming, and he's got a lot of players to work with, man.
Let's dive into the quarterback battle a little bit here. First, I want to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. Cutwater Spirits, more than 35 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Pumped to announce they will have a tasting station once again at the BNN Golf Tournament coming up next month. So Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate, perfect for that next round of golf. And we appreciate Cutwater Spirits, our studio sponsor. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. They're going to be passing out golf towels at the golf tournament. So, you know, the BNN Golf Tournament, all of our sponsors step up. You get a ton of swag, a ton of cool stuff. And rowpaint.com is giving out golf towels at the tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. roepaint.com, concrete coatings, residential interior, exterior painting, all your painting needs. Look no further than rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, once again, they're passing out, I believe, a sleeve of golf balls at the tournament. So all of our sponsors stepping up in a big way. ICCU.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, the best in the business. So happy the Raines family made the switch, but also so disappointed that we didn't know how great they were and make the switch sooner. I'm so happy with our banking experience at Idaho Central Credit Union. So check them out. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, and you can start it out online at ICCU.com. Ridley's Family Market, shopridleys.com. Find a location near you. There's 14 locations in the state of Idaho. Love that Kuna location down there, just a couple miles south of the freeway. And again, you can get up to 40% off at the checkout line using the Shop Ridley's app. And we appreciate Shop Ridley's, shopridleys.com. And today's the day. John Mallory, my house is going on the market today. Matt Bauscher Real Estate, they've done a tremendous job. I always knew Matt was the number one ranked realtor. Just I knew he was a hard worker, and the stats prove it. But getting a chance firsthand to see Matt and Kelly and their team, just an outstanding job. So easy to, the process, they make it so easy. And I'm just so thankful that Bauscher Real Estate is helping us sell our home. I have no doubt it's going to go quickly. And as we try to upgrade to a little bigger house here in the Treasure Valley. So Bauscher Real Estate, check them out, bauscherrealestate.com. And again, you get personalized service. And from Matt and his team, they're tremendous to work with. They make the process easy, and they are going to get you the best deal for your house. So if you want to buy a house, they'll help you as well. I've been negotiating the counter offers. Matt knows what he's doing. It's been great to kind of see from up close now how great Matt is and why he is number one in the Treasure Valley. So check him out at bauscherrealestate.com. All right, Johnny, let's start with the quarterback battle. That's a sexy one that we could probably talk about every day all the way till fall camp, and the first game we probably will in some
get that every year here at Boise, pretty much, man. We didn't have it last year, but it feels like we get a lot of these, huh?
I got to reset my StreamYard here, so I'm going to need you to kind of fill for 30 seconds, Johnny. But I want to play a bite in a second when I get it loaded from Spencer Danielson talking about CJ Tiller, because I believe CJ Tiller is kind of the forgotten man in this. And we talked to him the other day. I thought he had a heck of an interview. I said this a couple times already. I think CJ Tiller is a little higher on this list than we think. Somebody in the comments already is just assuming Malachi Nelson is going to be the starter. I don't think that's the case. I mean, I believe that he has a chance, Johnny, but I don't think it's like some foregone thing that, Malachi Nelson is just going to be the starter when we're all said and done here. So I'm going to put you full screen for a second, Johnny. Just fill till you see me come back. I know that's not tough for you, but just your thoughts on this quarterback battle and where it stands right now, and in particular the last couple of weeks, maybe how much CJ Tiller and Malachi Nelson have improved their chances here.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't noticed a separation, and this is Johnny Ballgame Quarterback Academy. Take it for what it's worth. Probably nothing, right? But I've been at every practice, and I haven't seen any player pull ahead where you're like, okay, yeah, I think it's his race to lose. Early on, it was Maddox, but early on now I realized that they were just getting in the infancy of spring and running a lot of stuff. It feels like the practices are more advanced now than they were practice 1 or practice 2, and a lot of it was just probably install stuff. If I was a Boise State fan, here's how I would treat this quarterback competition. I would just root for all three of them. And I would trust Dirk Cutter and Spencer Danielson in this staff that whoever starts at Georgia Southern, that's the person that fair and square, won the job, one, and two, gives my team the best chance to win. Again, that's what I would do if I was a Boise State fan. Whoever they choose, I'm on board with it because I wasn't in the meeting rooms. I wasn't at practice. I didn't see exactly what it came down to. I don't see that stuff if I was a fan. So I'm going to trust the staff that they're going to tell me who the starter is now. If that's CJ Tiller or Maddox Madsen, basically if it's not Malachi, I think there's probably going to be some pushback from fans. And I think the main pushback is going to be, is he going to leave now? Or are we going to lose him? And I think fans spend too much time in that realm with college football, worried about, well, if we don't make him happy, and his 7-on-7 coach is going to call and then they're going to be out and they're back in the portal. I think sometimes you just have to stay firm. Okay, then go back to the portal. I know you got all these stars. I know everybody's telling everybody how great you're going to eventually be. And if you don't want to have that done here, then okay, then go somewhere else. That's the biggest thing for me. I think there might be a crowd, BJ, of people rooting for Malachi, partly because they don't want him to leave and they're afraid he'll leave if he doesn't get the gig. If he gets the gig, I guess it'll be great for everybody. He's the 5-star. He's the decorated guy. He wins the job. A tough gig to win. These three quarterbacks are good. Whoever wins this job is going to win this job, BJ, and should have the trust and support of Bronco Nation with that. Me, I got a front row seat. I'm going to eat my popcorn, and I'm going to let whatever player ends up winning this job. I'll probably say now, my last percentage, I think it was 40, was it 50% Mad Dog, 45% Malachi, 5% Tiller? I don't know where I would be now, but it wouldn't be that. It would be different. Looking forward to seeing CJ Tiller. We'll have him in studio today, BJ, but I do agree with you. It feels like he is kind of the forgotten man.
That's going to be a great interview. Folks won't want to miss that today in studio. What time? 5 o'clock?
Yep.
5 o'clock, CJ Tiller in studio. And if you watch the video interview he did that I posted to YouTube, very well-spoken man and good attitude about the whole thing. And I'm rooting for the kid. I asked Spencer Danielson after the scrimmage, Johnny, about CJ Tiller and where he kind of fits into this whole quarterback battle.
Question, BJ, I think just like anything, at every position on our team, this is a seating chart. And as guys continue to put it on film this season, not 2023, not the bowl game, not what they obviously, as a coach, you take all that into consideration when you move into a new season. But it's all about what have you put on film to this point. And CJ's done some good stuff through the spring. Excited where he's growing to. It's a seating chart. So as the quarterbacks continue to compete with each other, which they will do every single day, one guy's going to maybe get more reps one day. One guy might get a little bit more reps the next day. And Coach Cutter, Coach Cooper do a great job grading it all. It is black and white. It's not, well, I think you're doing, no. I look at the stats every single day after practice, every single day after a scrimmage like today, and this is exactly where you're at. And it's been good to see him embrace that, compete. Not, to your point, BJ, don't worry about what happened in the bowl game. Don't worry about what happened. Now grow from it, learn from it, and be the best version of yourself going forward. Keep competing. Because for CJ, for everybody else on our team, that's all you can control. You control what you put on film right now and how you grow from right now, scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2.
And I believe we both still think CJ Tiller is probably third on this competition right now, Johnny. But at least in my mind, his chances have gone up a little bit based on his improvements here in spring practice.
Yep, he's still in the mix, which is where he wanted to be. He wanted a fair shot at this thing. I think Coach Danielson probably indicated to CJ, you're going to get a fair shot at this thing. And that was cool with him. I mean, CJ Tiller has 4 years to play. I mean, if he spends this year at Boise State, then if it doesn't go his way, he goes somewhere as a 3-year eligible player, right? So, I mean, this isn't the end of his world either. He can give it his all, try to win this gig. If he wins it, great. If he doesn't, hey, you're an injury away from playing, right? I mean, a lot of teams, I'd like to look at a stat at how many FBS quarterbacks started a game last year. I know CJ Tiller is on that list, right? I know Maddox Madsen, I believe, is on that list, although I don't know if he was ever an actual starter, felt like it. And Taylor Green obviously started last year for Boise State. They started 3. And a lot of guys get to start. Just because you don't start in August doesn't mean in a week, a month, or a bowl game at some point you're going to get an opportunity. It is hard for me to believe in this landscape, and I've said this a lot about Spencer Danielson's program, and it proves me wrong every time. But it's hard for me to believe that all 3 of these quarterbacks are on this team at Georgia Southern, or maybe even when fall camp starts. It doesn't feel like in this day and age of college football, I mean, you'll compete for the gig with one person, but this is a 3-man competition, legit right now. CJ Tiller's in the mix, despite if you don't want him to be. He is. He's taking as many reps as anybody in practice. BJ sees it. So, I mean, I can't imagine they're all 3 on the roster, but holy smokes, man, it makes spring ball even that much more competitive.
Yeah, I think CJ in particular is taking advantage of Maddox not being able to do the
Big
team
time.
He's getting a lot more team drills than he probably would have gotten. He is taking advantage of that. I believe Maddox Madsen started 1 game, and that was the game he got hurt in. They finally made him the starter after all the song and dance. They made Maddox the starter, and then I think he got hurt in that game.
Boise State started 3 quarterbacks last year. Yeah.
So a lot of people are asking about Chris Marshall, Johnny. News on how he's doing. He's
talkative. Him and Amori and McCoy like to talk trash to each other.
I don't know what we're supposed to say. Injuries, all that. I don't think it'd be a huge deal if they mention it. But I mean, he was out there the first practice or 2, and then some sort of minor injury has kept him out. He has not been out there. It's not. People are wondering why they haven't seen videos of him and stuff. The first practice we saw him out there, Johnny, I was super impressed. He had nice breaks, great hands. I was impressed the first practice, but then he has not been out there. He has been dealing with some sort of injury for a while. But as you said, man, a lot of times he's been standing near us on the sidelines. And for a kid that's only been here, 2 months, maybe doesn't even know all of his new teammates' names yet. He's out there talking a lot of trash to the DBs. He's pumping up his own guys. I mean, the energy he's brought to practice, even though he's been on the sidelines, has definitely been notable.
You know, it kind of reminds me of, remember when you used to make fun of me? There was this show that BNN had a couple of years back. It was called BNN After Dark. It was with myself.
Maybe bring that back too.
Winston Venable, BJ, you were on it most nights. We had cool guests like Doug Martin, and I would always ask Winston about what practice was like in his era, the Kellen era, where you had 15 NFL guys in some capacity or another on that field. I thought about that yesterday when it was Marshall and McCoy and just the competition, the heated, like they compete in every drill. DBs versus receivers. Who wins that play? Okay, the receivers, that's a win. DBs, that's a loss. I mean, they keep track of all this stuff, and it makes me think like, maybe that's kind of how I pictured those practices that Winston would describe to me. Richie Brockle will describe to me about how intense a Chris Peterson practice was, and they got to the game and they were like, we're playing these guys. Okay, this thing's going to be over at halftime. And it feels to me like we're seeing that level of competition. And Chris Marshall's part of it. He's a cheerleader, and I don't think it's a significant injury. I really don't even know what the injury is. I haven't really asked. He's on the sidelines the whole practice pretty much.
I believe Spencer or somebody said it was a hamstring.
Oh, I mean, but I'm not sure. Maybe that's it. There's
no cast or anything.
He's not limping. He'll be ready to go. I hope. On the field stuff's never been the issue. If you read the history on Marshall, and it's just scary with him and Cam Camper that when they do come back and they're healthy, you add that to a receiver group that I really like already that almost doesn't need Marshall or Camper, but has the luxury that has Marshall and Camper. We're talking quarterback position. I mean, dude, there's going to be some receivers. I mean, are all these receivers going to be here for the first game? That's going to be a crazy competition, too. They are loaded in the receiver room, BJ. It's crazy.
We've got more than 250 people watching this live right now. We appreciate you, whether you're on Facebook or X or YouTube, where most of you are. Well over 100 people watching on YouTube right now. So make sure you're subscribing to all of our various channels. And if YouTube, you can turn on notifications so you know when we go live. That's the easiest way so you don't miss a show. I want to switch over to the defensive side of the ball and talk about that safety competition a little more, Johnny. But first, want to thank our another group of sponsors here, Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out, lithiafordboise.com. They're giving away a hole-in-one, or they're giving away a car. They're giving away a Bronco Sport if you get a hole-in-one at the Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament on May 31st. So, again, we appreciate them. They got 5 NIL deals, including Matt Lauter, which Johnny mentioned earlier. So, check them out. View their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. Taco Bell is hiring. You get free food while you work, and you get half your wages the very next day after your shift. How can you beat that? If you're needing a job but don't want to wait 3 weeks for that first paycheck, check out Taco Bell. Quick cash. They'll get you money in your pocket right away. TacoBellWorks.com. You can get more information. And again, we appreciate SON Management, the Nicolason family, for their support of Bronco Nation News. The Blue and Orange Store. You need some new gear for the spring game next weekend. Shirts, jerseys, caps, bumper stickers, you name it. The Blue and Orange Store.com has it. Again, they're on the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or you can get free shipping any order over $40 online at the Blue and Orange Store.com. Trucking, the trucking industry right now is booming. Transportation Compliance Service can help you. All the permits and things every step of the way. If you've thought about becoming a truck driver, owning your own trucking business, they can help you get out there towing that first load in no time. 75% of folks that try to do it themselves end up going out of business. So let the professionals handle it. Let them get you out there on the open road in no time. TransCompService.com. Bronco Brew Coffee. BroncoBrew.coffee is the website. Check them out. Freshly roasted coffee in many instances in the Treasure Valley at your doorstep within 24 hours. They don't roast it till you order it. You can set up reoccurring subscriptions and get fresh bags delivered every week to you all over the country. And you're helping Boise State Athletics. You can go online. You can choose a athlete of your choice, and they can put some money into their pocket with the purchase of every bag. Check them out at BroncoBrew.coffee. And, of course, Dave and his staff over at Lean Feast, they're feeding the basketball team. They're feeding the football team. They can feed you as well. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Healthy eating, all fresh, all not frozen, customizable. In 2 minutes, you're eating steak, shrimp, all kinds of great stuff in the microwave there. So check them out, LeanFeastMeridian.com. That website is wrong at the bottom of the screen. LeanFeastMeridian.com is the website. I do want to throw a plug out, Johnny, before we talk about the safeties for the Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament. We are filling up fast. This is not something you think you can wait for and then 2 weeks before the tournament say, oh, I want in. We have like 7 foursomes remaining for the morning, and the afternoon starting to fill up as well. We're going to have, I mentioned, beverages from Cutwater Spirits. We're going to have food. We're going to have a lot of good giveaways, swag. It's going to be awesome. And anyone that steps up for a whole sponsorship or some of our sponsors and things, we're going to have a event the night before with Spencer Danielson, a little Q&A, and hoping to have Coach Rice there as well. That'd be kind of cool. Spencer Danielson, Leon Rice for a Q&A. Maybe even get John Mallory up there. That'd be quite the third person in the Q&A up there on stage. But looking forward to it. May 31st. Appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, their co-title sponsorship. We'll tell you more about some other sponsors of the tournament as we get closer, but sign up now. Don't wait. Get your friends, your foursome together. Help raise money for a good cause. We're really looking forward to this. You have a lot of former Boise State football players out there. A lot of current Boise State football players will be out there. Tyson Degenhart's going to be out there again. We'll be giving away Degenhart dozen donuts for breakfast. And Leon Rice will be out there, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it last year. We still have yet to give away the car. We're hoping to do that this year if somebody can get a hole-in-one. And, of course, the well worth the price of admission, your chance to meet Johnny and Jay Tust out there on May 31st. Johnny, always a fun time at the golf tournament. I know you're going to be out there again doing your show.
Off. We're good. Get that picture off of there, man.
Well, you've been there both years, man. It's been a fun time. Looking forward.
It's the best golf tournament in the valley, according to John Mallory. Yep.
There you go. That's all that matters.
I give it my full endorsement.
All right. So you sign up now. Again, email me, rains@bronconationnews.com or bronconationnews.com/golf for more information. Okay. You guys had Ty Benfield on yesterday. Great interview. Folks can go listen to that on the app or online, ktik.com. I had a nice sit-down one-on-one with him as well that I'm saving for the summer when not much is going on. We do our countdowns and things. Very well-spoken man for a sophomore, very motivated man. He's a player that Seems like he just has a lot to prove, and he's in a position, Johnny, where there's a lot of guys that feel that way. You know, you got Alexander Tubner, you got Rodney Robinson, you got Shea Oladipo, you got Tubner, you got, all these guys, Zion Washington. I mean, there's a lot of guys that fighting for playing time there.
Yep.
I have a quote from Spencer Danielson I want to play about Benfield in particular, but what's your big picture view of the safety position?
It feels like, and me and Prater broke this down yesterday, field side safety, that's the big safety position. You have to patrol most of the field. Most of the stuff's coming your way. You have to be good in everything, pass coverage, run coverage. You have to be highly intelligent. And it's Rodney Robinson and Ty Benfield right there. Boundary safety is Alex Tubner. Behind him, you said Zion. And nickel, Oladipo's not out there, but it's going to be Oladipo. And then whoever behind him, possibly Kaniho or one of the other mentioned players I just previously mentioned there. But how'd they find this kid? How'd Benfield get here? Well, what's his deal? Like, holy smokes, man. He is way ahead of schedule. I mean, he was playing a lot as a true freshman. I think he's the best athlete on the defense. Okay? I think he's the best athlete out there. So they're going to find a place for him to play and play a lot. I mean, he covers the ball well. He's probably the heaviest hitter on the team, certainly from the secondary. We saw that last year. He's bigger, faster, stronger, smarter right now. He gets it. Last year, I mean, he didn't show up till August. I know Spencer will mention that as well, but this is going to be a massive competition. 5 spots, 5 players who should be starting. Only 3 of them are going to start. I wonder if they're going to do like a platoon in baseball. Maybe on first downs, one player is better at safety than the other. Maybe on passing situations, another safety is better than another. And I wonder if they're going to mix and match and just find ways to get all these guys the game reps they need. But for Benfield, I mean, from my opinion, he has to be out there, BJ. I think he's the best athlete on this defense, and I see a long football career ahead of this guy. And with the way he plays, and you throw in his personality, I see a guy, people are going to be walking around town wearing a Benfield jersey. Like, I think he's going to be a very high-profile, marketable player on this team. And dudes, fans, Bronco Nation is just going to love him. We fell in love with him yesterday, Prater and I.
Let's hear from Spencer Danielson talking about the growth of Ty Benfield.
Ty Benfield is doing a great job, BJ. Very, very proud of where he's at now, where he's growing. And you see Ty, even at the end of last season, started to play a ton of football, started games for us, and he earned every bit of that. I couldn't tell you the last time a guy came in as a true freshman, not an early enrollee, he came in as a true freshman and found his way into a starting role on our back end. That's very hard with the amount we put on our safeties, and we put him a lot of different spots last season. Seeing him take over that field safety spot, how he's doing it, how he's prepping. I mean, he's in here all the time. He's the guy that at 6 o'clock when I'm in my office at 6 o'clock at night, I'm looking out in the blue and he's going through his get-offs by himself. That's who he is. That's the kind of guy he is. And so you see his game progressing at a high level. Coach Stockton is doing a great job with him. He has that mental makeup. He will not settle for anything but being the best. And so I'm excited where he's growing to. And he has the command when he's in there, the command of the back end. And so it's been cool to see him step in that role. And to your point, BJ, only going into a sophomore year.
You talked to him yesterday, Johnny. He didn't seem like a guy that's a sophomore with only a couple starts under his belt.
First, when you look at him, he looks grown, so you don't look at him or think of him as a sophomore. You think of he's like a 5th year, 6th year guy. And then when you speak to him and have an interview with him and he shows his personality and his intellect, then you're like, okay, wow, this is a hell of a get. This is exactly the type of player Boise State wants in its secondary. This is who they've had in the form of going back to like the George Ilokas, finishing with like the JL Skinners on that Boise State, like field safety, strong safety, knock your helmet off type of safety. This is the next guy on their evolution chart, right? And I think, BJ, you can use this guy to rush the passer. You're going to use this guy to stop the run on 1st and 10 when you don't call their bluff and you know the offense is going to run, you think it's a 95% chance they're running on this first down, well, Benfield's going to play right at the line of scrimmage. Think what the LOB used to do with Cam Chancellor. They had 2 safeties, yeah, but they only ran a 1 deep package with Earl Thomas, who at the time was the best free safety in the league back there. They just used Cam wherever the hell they wanted to. I kind of see that with Ty Benefield. I think you're going to see him all over the field. BJ, if you absolutely had to, you could play Ty Benefield at linebacker. He can do everything the linebackers can do. You could 100% play him at linebacker. Hell, I mean, it's like what Bobby Knight say when the Portland Trailblazer GM called Bobby Knight and said, hey, who do you think we should take in the draft? Bobby Knight said, take Jordan. The Blazers said, well, well, coach, we need a center. Bobby Knight said, well, I don't play Jordan at center. Take Jordan. They took Sam Bowie. It's that type of thing. Ty Benefield, I love what Spencer's saying. It doesn't surprise me that he's out there by himself on the blue at 6 p.m. working on get-offs. Like, okay, man, this guy's serious, and it's a good thing for Boise State. Wow, that's going to be a serious. After listening to that, BJ, I wasn't at that Spencer presser, but it's going to maybe be even more heated than we thought. But I'll be shocked if Benefield's sitting there with his helmet on the sidelines this season.
Yeah, he's going to kind of be one of those Swiss Army knives that can do a lot of different things. And as someone put in the comments, you can't take him off the field. He's got to be out there somewhere. So we'll see. A couple final comments here, Johnny. Nate says, surprised Jalen Clark is still on the roster. He's not on the roster. Jalen Clark has been removed from the team. If he is showing up in the online roster, that's a mistake. Jalen Clark, I don't think he's on the
roster right here, BJ. He is not on it.
Yeah, Jalen Clark was removed from the team due to the legal issues that he is ongoing. But Jalen Clark is not on the team. Grant taking a shot saying, what if I tweeted something for there to not be any news? I can promise you, Grant, there is good news coming for the Boise State basketball team. I would hope my track record would prove that if I say there's good news coming. There is good news coming. Again, the kid asked me to let him announce it himself. What am I supposed to do? Hurry out there and tweet it before the kid and then have the kid come here and be ticked off? Like, I think as a media member, you got to have a little bit of common sense and a little bit of, just be smart about it. And when the kid says, I committed, but can I be the first one to break it? I think you owe it to the kid, Johnny, to let him go first. So
I don't think BJ was trying to get as many views as he wants for this show. So he was using that as a tease to get you here, Grant. And now you're here and the show sucks. Damn it, Grant. You're going to probably just go press X on the top right and move on with your day, bro. But I think that BJ, I think you explained it pretty clear. It's going to happen. It's kind of happened, but the player just told me, can I be the one to let it out? And BJ said, sure, cool. Yep. It's coming soon, man.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. The kid wants to be first to do it. He's waiting for his graphic to come out. They thought it was going to be last night. It's not here yet. But yes, it is good news, and I think going to be interesting news to see what happens with the roster once that they add this player to the team. So stay tuned to Twitter. Good news coming for the Boise State basketball team. And again, I'm not playing games or being secretive. I just owe it to the college. It's a college kid here that wants to. It's a big moment in his life, and he wants to be the one to announce it. And I think it's fair to let him do that first. That's all that it is. So maybe by 3:00, Johnny, you guys will have something to open your show with or talk about it. And yes, that is part of the deal, actually, Jordan. He will be doing an interview with BNN if I let him announce it first. So we'll have an interview.
BJ's getting something out of it.
Yes, of course. And the new football commit as well. We're going to be talking to him, the first commit in the 2025 class. We're going to be chatting with Quentin Brown on tomorrow's show. Quentin Brown, the new commit, the receiver out of Texas, I believe. We will be talking to him on the show at 6 p.m. I'm going to record it tonight, and then we'll air it tomorrow on the show in the morning. So appreciate you, Johnny, as always. I know you mentioned you got CJ Tiller in studio today. People are not going to want to miss that at 5:00. What else we got coming up? Big episode of IST today.
Yeah, it's Masters Wednesday, BJ, and IST. That's a big deal for my boys JP and Prater. This is Super Bowl week for JP, and there's a cameraman for CBS, and I can't sell this segment as well as Prater or JP, but he's worked one of the iconic holes as a cameraman at Augusta National for 30 years or however many long, and he stands up there in a tower and gets the shots, and he's seen everything. And we bring him on once a year, really on Masters Wednesday. And he talks about the sights and the sounds. It's always fun. His name's G. Mark Bowden. So we love talking about him. And then obviously, the CJ Tiller 5 o'clock is going to be a home run. Hopefully it'll be as good as Ty Benefield was on the show yesterday. And BJ's right. If you missed the Ty Benefield interview on IST, it's on the app and the website. Highly recommend if you like Boise State football and you want to get excited about one of your players, and maybe some player that you haven't been following so closely might become one of your favorite players. I go check that out too. But
keep an eye on.
Appreciate that, BJ.
Keep an eye, by the way, on the Scott, the whole Kentucky coaching situation, because if Scott Drew takes the Kentucky job, Jerome Tang at Kansas State likely, I think I could see going back to Baylor where he was at one point. And I could see whether it be Nico Medved or Steve Alford. I could see, I don't think Leon Rice plays into this, but I could see a couple Mountain West coaches, Patino, Alford, Medved, potentially being in the mix at Kansas State. Should Jerome Tang go to Baylor? Should Scott Drew go to Kentucky? So keep an eye on that. I still can't believe I saw the picture of John Calipari wearing a red sport coat today. I couldn't believe it that it's officially he is at Arkansas. But there could be some Mountain West. It could shuffle down to involve some Mountain West schools.
Have you ever interviewed Cal for Lindy's?
I not Lindy's, but I interviewed him a couple times when he came out here for the NCAA tournament a couple years ago. He was a big DK Donuts guy. Yeah. He said something negative about Boise on the selection show. He said most of the kids on my team don't even know where Idaho is, and then he felt bad, and I think he was trying to make up for it. So he went to DK Donuts and talked about how great Boise was on the press conference and everything. And so I'll be very curious to see what happens there at Arkansas, but that could trickle down to the Mountain West. So keep paying attention to that. Keep paying attention to social media. There'll be some Boise State basketball news, I think, hopefully coming out today. If not, should be for sure tomorrow. Get that graphics guy, Johnny, to hurry up and make it a little bit faster here so we can get this news out.
Who is the graphics guy? Why don't you shout him out?
That'd be calling him out, I guess, if he's late. So, no, we're going to leave that private. But, Johnny, I'll see you at practice again tomorrow. And we'll be back. Bronco Nation News Live. Appreciate you guys. Go support the sponsors. Go subscribe. Go read Mike Prater's column on why Boise State football players don't run track. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.